Okay, I think today is the day that the future arrives. Here, take a look. Ooh! Hello, my friends. What do we have here? Okay, it's here. The Harvest Right freeze dryer, which I don't know about you, but I never thought I'd own a freeze dryer in my life. I do remember going to the Reuben H. Fleet Science Center as a kid and like eating the freeze-dried ice cream. So the reason that I got turned on to this actually was from John Kohler from Growing Your Greens. He came over to my house once, toured my garden, and then he gave me some of his freeze-dried strawberries, and he was like, oh, dehydrating is so old school, everyone's freeze drying these days. And I was like, wow, how much does the freeze dryer cost? And he was like, $2,000. And it was like 4 years ago. I was like, I don't think that's for me, John, but I'll take the strawberries. And then Harvest Right reached out to me, and I moved into the homestead, and I started thinking, maybe it actually makes more sense than I thought it did, just because of how well it tends to preserve the food. But I don't know as much about it as I would like, so let's first start out by just unboxing it and seeing what's inside. There's a lot of gear here. So the first thing we have is an oil filter, one oil filter. Next, we have an impulse sealer. Don't know what that is yet, so we're gonna learn together. Next up, we have the owner's manual. We have a firmware troubleshooting guide. We have oxygen absorbers. Like, this is some high-tech stuff. We have the high vacuum pump oil, guide to freeze drying. I'm assuming this is the pump, or at least the tubing for the pump. Then we have Mylar bags for storing your stuff. These are the trays. Oh, these are heavy. Even a single one of these trays, that's heavy duty. I wonder what kind of metal it's made out of. Maybe aluminum, but it kind of feels more heavy than that. Okay, and then here, we actually have the vacuum pump. So let's put this down and get on to the next box. Okay, so here it is. Wow, it looks like a laundry machine. Oh, that's a thing of beauty right there. That is a thing of beauty. Okay, we need to figure out how to put this thing together. So I moved it inside. For now, I think this is a good place for it, right in the kitchen. I'll probably end up moving it to the pantry, but now I need to figure out how to actually put this whole thing together. So bear with me. I sometimes am not the best with instructions. So let's see if we can figure this out. At least I know these are the trays. We gotta get into the vacuum pump here. I gotta say, this thing came extremely well packed. I would imagine that it'd be a bummer if you got this thing and it was damaged, but this thing is, I mean, look at the packaging on this thing. Triple wall, quadruple wall cardboard. You got all the stuff off of it. So this is the pump, but this is the Premier oil pump, I believe. Let's see, so it says, check the rubber gasket on the door to make sure that it is clean. That would be this right here. Looks clean to me. Make sure the inside of the acrylic is clean, looks clean. That's step number one. Put oil in your vacuum pump by removing the red cap. If you have one of our bright green Premier oil pumps, that's true. You need to unscrew the black oil demister on top of the pump, okay? Fill your vacuum pump to the center of the sight glass and replace the cap. Okay, so this is the demister. I'm guessing I fill it to the center right there. And I'm guessing this is the oil. All right, and we go with the oil. We're going to the 50% mark on the sight line. Let's see if I can get a good pour here. Ooh, okay. There it goes, okay. That's about halfway right there. Yep, cool. On with our cap. Okay, next step. Next up, we have to remove this little cover here, and we're going to start connecting the hose. So I've got this hose right here, and I'm just going to screw it in hand tight, I believe. Man, the componentry is really solid feeling. Hand tight, there we go. So that's in. Next up, we remove the other side and connect that. So now the pump is connected to the actual freeze dryer unit. Hand tight again. There we go. So the vacuum pump needs to be powered up, and so does the freeze dryer. So both are getting plugged in right now. So I'm plugged in. This is the way that the tray sits in there, the shelving unit. So there's these heating elements on the bottom. Those have to stay on the bottom. And then there's this rubber gasket here. And then the way that the door works is it comes in, it latches, and then it seals. So you can kind of see, actually you can see it right here. This little outline means it's pressing up against it. So it could probably press a little more, yeah, on the top there. But we'll see how that works. Actually, there we go. I got the whole thing to go. I just pulled the gasket out slightly to create the seal. The next thing to do on the outside here is to take the drain valve and close it, just like that. Now we are going to turn on the vacuum pump. Okay, there we go. I just turned on the harvest right as well. We're gonna go through a couple tests here. So the testing phase seems like it went well. I've renamed it the Epic Freeze Dry. And now we can actually drain this drain valve. Hopefully I do it the right way. Let's see what happens. I've run all of the test diagnostics. It's going well. What I need to do now is take some soggy bread, put it on these trays, and we were going to run a burn-in batch to kind of get rid of any sort of manufactured smell, whatever is going on in the harvest right when it's fresh out of the box. So let's freeze dry some soggy bread. In we pop. So we have to do some fresh harvesting. I've got some stuff in the kitchen right now, but I'm gonna take, I believe this is the Delicious Hunt, and we'll try to freeze dry this one, but I wanna see if I have some strawberries too. These strawberries have been really productive. Come take a look actually at just how vigorous they are. What we've done is we took off all those flowers, and that really, really helped. So you're seeing big chunky boys like this come out literally almost every single day. I'm getting 5, 6, 7 days. If I wait 2 days, I have like 15. So enough for like a morning serving of strawberries. So I'll hunt around here for a second and see what I can find. Whoa, look this. Look at this, dude. There's tons. Yeah, I did not notice these earlier. Wow. There's like 10 just right here. We have a lot of strawberries, but there's also a lot more because Jacques had some stuff that he had in his garden that you wanted to see how the freeze drying process worked. But just look at this. I mean, I picked this patch 2 days ago. I had this many strawberries still coming out. So needless to say, I would eat these, but I still want to see how they freeze dry. But I've got this, I've got a tomato, we got a couple cucumbers from my garden, some tomatillos here. Maybe we'll do those, maybe we won't. But why don't you walk through kind of what you got, Jacques?
So I just brought 2 carrots from the garden. A couple peppers. These are some chayoga beets. I think I got a couple of those.
Oh, the concentric circle striped ones, yeah.
Yeah. And a couple like little zucchinis because I was curious to see how that works. Ancho poblano.
Yep. And a Zephyr zucchini. So yeah, at this point, it's basically just let's break this down into semi-uniform pieces. It's probably not the best idea to do a full strawberry because what's happening is sublimation. So you cool the fruit or the vegetable or the food, and then you create a vacuum, and when you warm it back up, water can't exist in a liquid form in a vacuum, and so it just dissipates to gas, and that's why you get the same structure, and you really want to make that process easy. So for example, on this strawberry right here, I would just come through, maybe do a little heart-shaped cut out of the top here, so that's gone. And then I would probably end up just cutting it into slices like this, just to make it really, really nice and easy. And you got to think about, once it's freeze dried, that's going to be the form you're eating it in. So whatever form factor you want to enjoy it in, like these little slices, that's probably a good idea. You know, you could do it a different way if you wanted to. You could do it very, very fine and then like grind it up into a powder and add it to oatmeal or something like that. That could be a good idea. But yeah, at this point, we're just going to process, and maybe I'll let you stack these over here for now, and we'll trade off.
Yeah, some of the other cool things I saw was like you could do eggs. You could do full meals, and then like basically make the entire camping meal, freeze dry it, bring it camping, and it's just like those little pouches.
Yeah, like an MRE.
Yeah, except it's whatever you want in there. So that's really cool. Yeah,
the thing that's interesting about it is you can freeze dry, I would say almost anything. Like a stick of butter is going to be very difficult. Anything heavily oily is going to be difficult. But besides that, like these strawberries are going to be absolutely perfect. I guess if you think about like Lucky Charms, when you get that cereal, the fruit and the marshmallows in that are dehydrated, or freeze dried, excuse me. Anytime I say dehydrated in this video, guys, it's just a complete brain fart, so please excuse me on that. We are talking about a freeze dryer in this video. But yeah, it's a really fun method, and I'm really curious to see, because we're putting in kind of a smorgasbord of different things here. You can put in cooked stuff. So if Jacques wanted, he could roast the beets and then freeze dry them if he wanted to. Because, you know, rehydrating them uncooked is much different, of course, than rehydrating them cooked.
Yeah, these have been really good. Definitely been stealing a few, you know, just walking by the bed.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's news to me, guys, and that's actually going to be a serious thing that we're going to have to talk about.
So I probably would have had like maybe 80 right now, but
okay.
I gotta eat.
Yeah, we don't pay Jacques, actually. He just has to forage from the garden. No, people are going to think we're serious about all this. People think we're serious when we joke around. He's a paid person on the team. Don't worry about that.
That's why my acting's so good.
Yeah. I actually had to pay for him to go to Screen Actors Guild. And it was really sort of annoying because it costs a little more than average. Because they were like, oh man, he's really green. Like he needs a lot of work. So we put him through like a 2-month program at the Screen Actors Guild.
Rough.
Yeah, he actually called me a couple of times. Like he's like, I don't know if I can do this.
Can't hack it.
Yeah. The moment is here. We actually get to put it in the freeze dryer. So the real important parts to note here are the vacuum pump. You have to have oil in it. The pressure has to be open, and then you also have to have it on. I'm not turning it on just quite yet because it's quite loud and it would mess up the audio. But the other thing that's very important, you see this seal here? This seal has to actually seal to create a vacuum, right? So when you close this, what you will want to see is a little line that indicates that there's some pressure being applied from this acrylic onto that. And then you really just want to fill it up. It does most of the rest of it on its own. So let's get our strawberries in at the bottom here. There's enough space for 4. So in goes the strawberries, in go the tomatoes, Jacques' peppers and his zucchini, and then his root crop section of his beets and his carrots. In they go. We'll close it up and I'll show you how to set it up. All we need to do is click start, select not frozen because these are not frozen vegetables, they're fresh. You have to make sure you close that drain valve and turn on your oil pump, hit continue, and the process begins. So we'll see you back in quite a few hours. We're out here hanging in the garden. Jacques went to put his straw hat on. He's got to look the part. So what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with your stuff or my stuff?
I don't know. Should we save the strawberries? You know, a little sweet.
A little best for last, little dessert. Okay.
Dessert at the end.
So what we did, because you've taken 100% of the water out, the air has water in it in the form of a humidity level. So I've already put these in Snapware with a little silica packet to suck out any oxygen. But for a little bit, we can pop these open. So coming up first is the pepper medley.
Right. So there's 3 different peppers, right?
Yes, we have the yellow one. We have the ancho. I'm gonna try the ancho. What are you gonna try?
I think I want to try all of them.
Okay, okay.
Let's
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with the ancho.
I think it's Jimmy Nardello.
You know what's weird is like, the second you eat it, you feel like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And as water gets back into it, the flavor just pops out.
It's like it's like eating the whole pepper in like one bite.
The concentration level of the flavor is insane. That's what I've noticed. Okay, I'm gonna try
Can you get that audio?
a little crunch.
Crunching.
Oh yeah. Here. It's very, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try this one. This is the Nardello.
The orange was the tequila sunrise.
Oh, tequila sonar.
Or sorry, no, it was the bell. It was the orange sun bell.
Honestly, it's not even that bad. It doesn't taste like a standard freeze-dried thing because normally those are a little bit more sort of crunchy, I guess. Something about the texture of the pepper, especially the skin, I guess, just doesn't do that. But
I really like it.
I really like that. What would you use it in?
That's what I was trying to think just now, because it's gonna get rehydrated pretty quick.
I would almost just like pop it into, like as is.
Yeah, or you could just powder it. And
Yeah.
like like a really delicious pepper powder.
Yeah, and then you could add it in. Okay, so now we've got Jacques' Chioggia beets and his carrots. So I'm gonna go in on a beet first. Look at that.
I want to try the zucchini.
The color kind of bleeds a little bit too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. You go with zucchini?
Yeah.
Okay. Mmm.
Is that a good?
Mmm. Mmm. No, I think that was a grower's mistake though. I think the beet would have been good, but I think it was more of a grower's thing. Well, how was the zucchini?
It tastes like straight zucchini.
But it's raw, because you did both these raw for some
100%
reason.
raw.
Yeah. I mean, I'm having an experience. I'll say that. maybe the carrot's gonna be better. Let's see. What did you think?
It tastes like a raw beet.
The beet tastes like a raw beet that actually wasn't perfectly ripened, I guess, and that's why I was saying grower's error.
I mean, maybe.
Okay, carrot. Do you know what type this was?
I think this is a Chantenay carrot.
Okay, so French style.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a good crunch on that though.
It's like
Man,
drinking or like carrot juice,
wow.
but you could chew it.
That's really interesting. This is my favorite so far, the carrot.
Yeah?
Out of all these two right here.
Well, you know where it came from, so.
Yeah, well,
All right.
you know, even broken clock is right twice a day. Okay, so this is the tomato, the delicious
I'm actually
tomato.
most excited for this.
I'm excited. Okay, so
Yeah.
here's what's
Yeah.
crazy about this, because this was a fresh tomato, which I think you normally probably wouldn't freeze dry a fresh tomato, but we just wanted to test. I'm in the exploratory phase. I want to figure out like what works and what doesn't. But first of all, look at this. Just look at this. You know what I mean? It's like,
Here.
give it, yeah. A little, and you can see that poof.
Yeah, the inside is like
What does it look like?
entirely like open cell, like it's totally dried out.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't lose any volume,
Yeah.
but it just lost all the moisture.
It's crazy how that works too with the sublimation.
Wow.
You would think it would deform it somehow, but it doesn't seem to. It's definitely a different color, but that's just because the water isn't.
Right.
Oh, you know what would help? What I bet. You know what? I bet I can make the color come back. Watch this. A little science. And it's brighter already.
Whoa. Wow.
Whoa, it's brighter. Okay, hold on.
That's crazy.
That's a flavor pop.
Yeah.
It pops really hard.
It's like really
Wow.
intensely delicious tomato.
And it also comes right, because we tried this when we
Wow.
were cutting it up. It comes right back.
Yeah. 100%.
Whoa.
Just tastes like literally a perfectly
Wow.
fresh heirloom tomato.
It tastes garden fresh.
Yeah.
Is the thing. It tastes
Like
garden fresh.
Next time we'll do like a little basil on there, maybe.
You know what? Someone told me, maybe it was one of you watching, they said put a little basil and salt and whatever on it, and they said
Oh, man.
pizza bites. Pizza bites.
Next
And you
time.
do it with a big fat
Yeah.
one? Ooh.
It's
Okay.
really good.
Okay.
That's a top one right there.
This is now ranking above the carrot for me, but I have a feeling This little boy here is gonna do well. So this one is the one I'm most familiar with eating freeze-dried because I did have them, I think, as a kid.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I mean, these are very lightweight. Again, they're very crispy, like you can, you know? So let's go ahead and go in, and these were fresh. Dude. That's a crazy flavor explosion.
Yeah, so what I'll say for everything here, it's like each slice is the equivalent of eating the whole thing.
Yeah.
So much flavor.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like, yeah. And it's like,
Wow.
maybe some like super taster could tell us what's actually happening, but something about it is like, not only does it taste like it tastes like, because if you ate a whole strawberry, it wouldn't taste like this.
Yeah.
It tastes like it got compressed into less flavor molecules or something. I don't know what I'm talking
I guess
about.
it's just because it's not diluted. As soon
Yeah.
as it hits your tongue, it's just like all you could taste is it rehydrating.
Oh, true, because there's no water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it definitely still has some of the strawberry aroma.
This one would probably be super good to just put in oatmeal in the morning.
For
Or
sure.
like cereal or something.
A little bit of ice cream,
A little bit of ice cream. Oops. No, you know what you could do?
a little dessert. I'm gonna just keep going.
You
until
could-
he tells me to stop.
Well, and he should have stopped a long time ago. He should have stopped a long time ago because this is my produce here. And, you know,
Maybe a few more.
I think we're going to have to bill you for that. Anyways, you could then toss this into like a spice grinder and you'd have a strawberry powder. And you could then use that powder in pretty much anything you wanted. So we're going to keep on snacking, or at least I am, because Jacques said his employee limit. And we hope you enjoyed this unboxing and sort of first look, I guess, at the Harvest Right freeze dryer. I don't know what to say about that. But, you know, if you have an experience with it, definitely let us know what we should try next or what I should try next. And if you want to check out the Harvest Right, there'll be a link in the description. But until next time, good luck in the garden, keep growing, and keep on freeze drying. You're not getting it's like a little toddler, I swear.